Hey, what's going on? Tony from LearnAutoBodyAndPaint.com, and I have a treat for you. If you want to learn auto body and paint, watch me do a step-by-step touch-up job on this BMW Z3M. The whole front was messed up with rock chips, so we touched up the front bumper cover. We actually painted the hood, and I also had to redo the quarter panel on the back end there. And I did it all from my home garage here. This whole quarter panel we redid, and actually I even did the trunk. So we actually went into the trunk. So if you want to see that, keep watching this video. Don't forget to grab your free 85-page auto body and paint manual. On the top over here, there's going to be a little button. And comment and like the video. Tell me what you think. Talk soon. Enjoy. Bye. All we really have to do here is get a screwdriver, right, and go in there and start lifting these and just pushing out. And that's how we take the grill out. 240 grit, because we're gonna sand out all the bad clear coat, some of the imperfections I'm gonna show you. Then we're gonna get down in here, we're gonna feather out all this chip marks, okay? Feather all in here out, and just basically cut out all the orange peel and imperfections here in the paint, because this front bumper cover was painted and the hood was painted before. If we look closely into the clear, you could see some fisheye. Okay, so it was painted before. You could clearly see that, right? And then also if we look in here, they actually, when they painted it, they did not remove the grills. So we can feel a big clear coat line over here, and you could see a run of clear coat right in here. That's a run of clear coat. Okay, so we want to get our DA and just go over all of this, get it nice and flat so we don't feel any imperfections, and just make it nice and level. So you can see right away all the clear, the old clear, the high spots. Okay. We want it. Okay. All in here is all done. A little bit of scratching in here in the plastic. What we could do after we primer it is just fill it with glaze putty. And then water sand it with 400, and then give it a quick coat of primer again, and then sand it again, and then you're ready for paint. This, you know, little glossy orange peely looky, we want to take that out. That's the whole goal of prepping before paint, is you want it to get it to look flat, matte color like this, dull looking, okay? But this is not a final grit, right? We want to finish with 400 before we paint. All right, so just letting you know, we're gonna be, and then there you go. These are the pins we're talking about. Now you could see the hood was painted before, and they just masked around it because you could see some of the new clear coat build up, right? So we're gonna sand this area down, make it nice, sand the rest of the hood down. Okay, this dent that you see right here is so small that I'm just gonna scuff this area with 80 grit by hand and put a skin of Bondo. You don't have to grind all the way down to metal. You know, you're just doing more work than you have to. And that area as well. And as you know, it's important to always blow off all the areas that you're gonna be putting body filler on and doing, you know, body repair. All right, even under the hood, okay? When you spray, you don't want dirt ending up in your paint job, right? So it's always good to have clean parts. Most as possible, I like to actually spray degreaser underneath, hit it with a brush, and wash it all out clean if you're doing parts like this. But just for this example here, I'm gonna just do it with wax and grease remover. Take off our wax, and then we could finish sanding. I had a guy once tell me, "Oh, Tony, I opened the can of Bondo." This is a non-VIP member. And he's like, "I saw all this glaze, so I just dumped it out," right? No, that's wrong. You want to mix this stuff in, because this is part of the benzoyl peroxide and all that other chemicals in here that actually make the Bondo work and get hard when you put your hardener in there, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and mix a little bit of Bondo up. Again, for every golf ball size of body filler, you wanna put about 8 drops of hardener. A little extra in here because I want it to get hard quick so we can finish and do our work, you know, get things done. Sure you don't push too hard when sanding, because if you do, you can distort the panel and sand, and your sanding won't come out even. So be sure to hold it pretty light. You don't want to push down too hard. So I had to video this. I totally screwed up on the body filler on this piece here, the bumper cover, because I was in a rush, okay? And this is what happens when you don't put enough hardener in your body filler. All right, I didn't put enough. I purposely went on the light side because I wanted time to play so I could lay the body filler on this bumper cover to fill in all the rock chips. Right? So I messed up. I didn't put enough hardener in the Bondo, so I had to scrape it all off. You saw what I did. It didn't dry, so it was kind of like a sticky, and it was stuck on here. So I had to scrape it off, and I used a metal putty knife. Okay, you got to use a metal putty knife. And make sure you use a wire brush and clean it every once in a while, because it just gets sticky and it gums up. So that's what I did. It took me about an hour to basically go over all the spots, okay, scrape it all off, and then put some lacquer thinner on a rag and just wipe off the sticky, or else it's just going to clog up your sandpaper on your disc when you're sanding, and it's just going to be a nightmare. All right, so I'm filming this because you guys are going to run into mistakes every once in a while. Plus, you could see that, hey, even someone like me who has tons of experience, tons of years in auto body, right? You goof up once in a while, okay? And a professional is not somebody who doesn't mistakes. It's someone who knows how to fix the mistakes that he's made. So I'm just sharing with you, right? I probably wasted a little bit of time, but I could still get this to come out beautiful, right? So another way you know you have wet, tacky body filler is that after, an hour, 2 hours, it's still tacky feeling. And if you rub some sandpaper on it, it just clogs the sandpaper immediately. So that's when you know it's just too tacky, it's not going to harden. Get rid of it, scrape it off. Scraped off the old Bondo. We basically wiped this area with thinner. It's clean for a new skim coat of fresh Bondo. Body work it, and then what we're going to do is paint this panel as well as this little strip across the way as well. So here's our new skin coat of Bondo really quickly, and after we do that, we're going to rasp it just to take off the high edges, and then final block sand it, 80 grit. Okay, here what we're doing is basically washing everything down with wax and grease remover. We're mixing up our filler primer. I'm going to go ahead and spray our Evercoat filler primer on all of our panels. We're going to give it a good thick 2 to 3 heavy coats, fill in all the imperfections, and then we're going to basically cut this down with 400 grit wet sand. We are going to use a little help with some dry sanding using the DA, and then we're going to finish with wet sanding 400 grit. So as you see, we're just walking around the car. All of the body work is pretty much done and primed. Just showing you a quick overview. We had a couple of spots on the hood, rock chips on the front of the hood, the front bumper cover, and we're going to go ahead and tackle it all down now with 400 grit on a block. That's called the Holy block here. Okay, wet sand. And as I was doing it, I was like, man, this is taking forever. So I decided to just throw some, what was I using? I was using 400 on a DA. You could use 320 to 400 on a DA and just dry sand it down. And that's what I started doing after a while. I was like, this is just too much. I wanted to get it done quicker. So, you know, there was a point where I used to do a lot just by hand. And you could do that, you know, and the jobs comes out really nice if you go by hand. But you could cheat once in a while, use a DA to cut it down quicker. But always, like what I'm doing right here, is you want to finish by hand. Because with your hand, you could feel all the little imperfections, and you're going to see exactly how it comes out once it's painted. So what I'm doing here is using an old piece of 400, so it's very smooth by now, and I'm using it to wash the quarter panel down, because that's where we're also gonna blend into that quarter panel. Here I'm popping off the rear trunk emblem because we don't want it on there. I was only going to paint that top strip where my left hand is, but I decided to do the whole trunk because there was a couple of imperfections in the trunk as well. So I decided, why not? Let's just paint the whole trunk. So again, I'm using the old 400 grit paper, and I'm being very, very careful that I don't hit the light or the bumper. Okay, and you can see I'm using my hand as a guide. And if you feel uncomfortable, feel free to pop out the light. You know, feel free to mask off the bumper cover if you want to. But you know, if you're comfortable enough and you want to do it the way I do, just do it just like that. And it's also very, very important to wash the complete car down before you do any paint job. Okay, and blow it off and make sure it's super, super dry. So the next day here is where you see me masking it off. This is not the same day. So I let it dry really good. I called it a day. And then the next day I blew it off really well before I started masking it. And then showtime. Okay, and you know, I could have took out that back lens, but I didn't want to. You know, it's all up to you. I just masked it up and shot the quarter panel. Okay, so that's how we did it. Good base coat, about $100 for this quart. Remember, 1 quart will make 2 quarts after mixed with your reducer. All right, so 1-to-1 mixture. So for 1 quart, I would add 1 quart of reducer to make me a half a gallon. Okay, half a gallon. 36 ounces here. 4 cups equals a quart. 8, 16, 24, 32. A cup is 4 ounces, right? Now, a cup is 8 ounces. 8, 16, 24, 32. 4 cups in a quart. 4 quarts equal a gallon. Okay, so this is going to make me a half a gallon of sprayable material. Okay, in this garage, no problem. People say, do you worry about overspray? You know, you don't have to worry about overspray if you're doing base coat, clear coat. It's not that bad. It's not going to make your tools, and it's not going to make everything in the shop a different color. But if you're doing enamel, acrylic enamel, synthetic enamel paint job, single stage, that stuff will turn your floor whatever color you're painting. All right, it's very, very thick. It's going to get on everywhere. Your shoes are going to turn red, everything. So that if you're doing in a single stage enamel, acrylic enamel, open this thing up all the way, okay, like this. And again, I said in all my videos, okay, we're just going to fold it up so it's palm size. One more time, just like this. Okay? You could tack between base when it's dry, but never tack between clear coat. All right? So I wanted to treat you with my sexy voice here. But when spraying your bumper covers, you just want to make sure that you're getting all the areas, and you may have to adjust your nozzle, from a wide fan to more of a narrow fan to get in some of these areas. And in my other painting videos, I show you, how to do that step by step. Again, this is such a huge project. I literally got hours and hours of this project in VIP, and I go over every little step, why I'm doing it, why you should do it, why you should do things this way, why you shouldn't do things that way. And I cover everything. This was more of a overall view so you can get the idea of how things are done. So, I hope you're enjoying the video anyway. I hope it's showing you the whole full process. And don't forget, go to LearnAutoBodyAndPaint.com and download a free Auto Body and Paint DIY manual that I have for you. And I also hit you up with a special offer to join VIP after you do that. So it's all up to you. If you want to take your auto body skills to the next level, come join us. Come join the family. We got thousands of members from all across the world that are loving our trainings. And every year we're consistently uploading new videos, new projects, what's working now, and all that other cool stuff. And we also have a private Facebook community for all you guys that like to share videos and photos and basically, be a part of an awesome community who loves cars and loves customizing cars and who wants to do this stuff from home. Even if you have no experience whatsoever, we have guys opening up their own body shops, from going through our program. We have schools in Canada, schools in the United States using our program to teach high school kids auto body. So I'm sure you'll love it, and you have no risk for checking out VIP as well. So right here, we're adding our first coat of clear to the panel. And, some people have different ways of doing it. Some people like to put on a tack coat and then two medium wet coats. I start off by doing a medium wet coat from the very beginning. You can see it's a medium wet coat. I'm not afraid to lay it on. And that's how you want to be. You don't want to be afraid of laying it on. If sometimes your clear coat looks dry, it's because you're not putting enough clear on it. So you can see here, I'm taking my time. I'm making sure it's laying on glossy, right? And we're going to go around to the other side. And a lot of times when you're immediately laying clear coat on, you're going to see like little specks of dots in the clear coat. That's fine because it's just setting up. It's just atomizing on the panel. And it's just, you might see little bubbles, but that just disappears as it flows out onto your panel. All right, so let's go ahead and do our hood. And we're giving this thing 2 heavy coats of clear, very, very heavy coats of clear. And we are using the House of Color system here. Soon we're going to be, I've been using other clears, and I'm going to be talking to you more about that in future videos. And I'm also going to be promoting those clears as well. Super high quality, pretty good prices, and I think you're going to love the clears. All right, so let's continue with the video, and I'll talk to you as soon as I feel like I should add some tips. Thanks, bye. So here's a good tip. You always want to make sure to get the under areas of all your panels, right? Sometimes you're going to be doing a paint job and you're going to totally forget to do the wheel well. I've done that, many times when I was first starting out. Or underneath the hood, or around the grill area, because it's a very disappointing feeling sometimes when you're done with the paint job. It looks awesome, but you lift up the hood and you see a lot of dry spot. That's the stuff that separates the pros from the newbies. So don't forget those spots. Make sure you get every little nook and cranny. You got clear on it. So when you open your hood or when you grab that door handle, it feels nice. It doesn't feel dry like you missed a spot, like you're a novice painter or anything, right? So you can see that I'm really laying the clear coat on here. Not afraid to lay it on. Getting the underparts. See all these little sections in here. We're loading the clear coat on, making sure it comes out nice and glossy, right? And 2 medium to heavy coats is really all you need. If you feel like you want to go a third coat, that's all up to you. I usually do 2 medium wet coats to most of my paint jobs, and we're good. Unless I have a ton extra, then I'll just go over a third coat. You know, it all depends. It all really depends. But something like this, you'll have a lot of room to cut and buff. You know, so you're not going to have to worry about when you're sanding. You know, if you're sanding with 2000 grit or 1500 to cut through to the base, because factory finishes are a lot thinner than custom jobs like what I'm teaching you how to do here. So, all right, so it's looking really nice. We're almost done with the project. I hope you enjoyed the video so far. So right here I saw a little dust go in the paint, so I just used my 2 pinking nails that I grow out to grab it out. And on my final coat, I make sure to, you know, bury it and really lay the clear coat on the whole trunk. This way, if I have to buff it, I have plenty of room to buff it and get it to a high gloss. But as you can see, it's laying on really, really nice so far. All right, final coat of clear. I'm laying it on super, super heavy. And again, you know, as long as you're clearing with just clear coat, you don't have to be afraid about runs, but because you could always color sand and buff runs. The only time you have to worry about runs is if you're spraying if you're spraying a pearl, if you have a pearl or a flake in your clear coat, and then you run it, then you got a little issue. That's why it's really recommended to just start off with just clear coats if you're a newbie. This way, if you make a mistake, if you run it, you could easily sand it out and buff it. And I show you exactly step by step how to do all of that and more at VIP. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment, give me some thumbs up. Talk soon.
Color match really well.
Hey, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Listen, I could have showed you a lot more, but I wanted to keep it short and simple because I know you may be busy today, right? But if you want to learn more about this, step-by-step auto body and how you can do this, yeah, you watching this video, you can do this. You know, if you want to restore your classic collectible, maybe put a custom paint job on your ricer if you're into Asian cars or European cars, whatever they are, right? I can show you step by step on how to do a complete body kit on a car, complete paint jobs, restoration, touch-up paint jobs like we did on this BMW here, and show you, you know, how to do it step by step so you don't goof up like I do sometimes, because I don't, you know, cut out all the important parts. I keep everything in. So check out VIP. You may love VIP. We have thousands of members across the world who are enjoying our VIP content. So click the button over here, get your free 85-page auto body manual if you haven't yet, and subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thanks. I'll see you soon. Bye.